Weekdays with Bernie segment tonight. What about the debate moderator, Lester Holt? Yesterday, I talked with Bernie Goldberg about moderating a big debate. So Lester Holt, NBC News anchor, moderate the debate on Monday. I know him. I think he's a fair guy. What say you?
All I know about Lester Holt is what I see on television, but I have no reason to disagree with you. And by the way, yeah, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Lester Holt and all the other moderators with so many people watching. But in terms of fairness, it really is easy to be fair at a debate. It's very easy. All you have to do is ask tough questions equally on both sides, hard questions, provocative questions, on subjects that matter, not some fringe topic that's only designed to trip somebody up. But then there's another question, Bill, and that is the fairness of the audience. Because I guarantee you, if Lester Holt asks a perfectly legitimate question of either candidate, let's say Donald Trump, that Donald Trump doesn't like, then his supporters are going to yell unfair and bias. And same thing with Hillary if she gets a question she doesn't like. Sometimes bias and unfairness are real, and sometimes they're in the eye and the ear of the beholder.
Okay, now, what about the moderator's responsibility to fact-check? This has been a debate.
That's a good question.
I want to give you my opinion, and then you can answer. I believe it's my job, as far as I can, to fact-check. And that's why I take these folders for every single guest out on the set. And basically, it's full of facts and what they've said in the past and this and that. Now, nobody can remember everything. Nobody can be up to speed on every topic. But I do believe that the moderator, if Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump says something that's inconsistent or untrue, they got to say that's not true, and this is why I know it. Right?
My answer is precisely the same as yours, because you said as best as the moderator can. You can't know everything. But if one of the candidates says something that's blatantly false, that if you follow the news, you know it's false, I do think you have an obligation to say, Miss Clinton or Mr. Trump, that just isn't so. But you can't do it on everything, and the candidates themselves are going to have to do a lot of fact-checking. But I totally agree with you on that. Yeah,
but the candidates don't care about fact-checking because if people are watching 100 million people, they throw...
I mean fact-checking in this sense. Let's say Donald Trump says something that's false, and let's say Lester Holt doesn't catch it. Well, if Hillary doesn't catch it either, too bad. So it's up to the other candidate.
Then it goes into perception is reality. But that's right.
Yeah.
But you're right. If Lester doesn't catch it, then either candidate can say, you know what, you said this on that. Now, let me give you an example of the fact-check difficulty. Trump was on earlier this week, and Trump said Lester Holt is a Democrat. Now, I didn't know whether that was true or not, but I said I didn't know that because I didn't. It turns out that Lester Holt is a Republican, at least by some reports. I haven't seen his voter registration, but I've seen the reports that say he's a Republican.
Right.
I don't care what he is myself. But that's the difficulty. I could have never expected Donald Trump to say Lester Holt was a Democrat. So if you don't know, the moderator has to go, I didn't know that, or how do you know that? You know, or get it back to them.
Right. Let me just make one other point about this debate thing. I don't think the answer to any particular question is going to matter as much to the audience as, let's just call it, some moment. You mentioned the Rick Lazio moment earlier in the program.
Right.
That mattered. That's all I remember from that debate. The only thing The only thing I remember from the Bush-Gore debate, the only thing I remember is Gore, like a doofus, wandering over to Bush and sighing, and Bush looking at him like, who are you? And I think that was a big plus. Yeah,
I remember the lockbox.
What are you doing over here? You know.
I remember the lockbox. Okay, now on Tuesday, and I want to know if you think this is fair because I'm putting you in a difficult position. I want to bring you back, and we're going to grade Lester, poor Lester, because there is a lot of pressure on him. Look what happened to Lauer. And I thought it was unfair about Lauer, by the way. You know, you got to do the best you can do, and everybody's, you know, everybody wants to know about the email thing. She's never been grilled on it, so we spent a lot of time on it. Okay, so what?
Right.
But I'm bringing you back to evaluate Lester, okay?
I'll be here.
All right. No trepidations for doing that? You're going to call it like it is?
No, I don't like, as a rule, second-guessing people who do live TV.
That's what I mean. That's my... Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm uncomfortable with that. But if he does something that's blatantly wrong, you and I will talk about that. Otherwise...
We'll point it out. But what we're looking for you, you're getting older, but you have some wisdom. We're looking for perspective from Goldberg. Perspective. That's what we'll get on Tuesday night.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.